The Department of Defense finished building it, a machine that reads your brain through your skull. No surgery, no implants, no consent needed. DARPA completed this program. It is called N3, and right now your brainwaves are already being tracked. Not by the military, not yet, by the device in your pocket. Here is what the official documents say. The technology reads 16 brain channels through 16 millimeters of tissues in 50 milliseconds. That is faster than you can blink, and thousands of people claim they are already targets. They call themselves targeted individuals. They report voices in their heads, thoughts being read, remote harassment. We are going to examine the official specification, DARPA's exact goals, what they built, what it can do, what they admit. Then we will trace the timeline, CIA experiments to complete programs. This research spans decades, and we will examine the claims, the targeted individuals, the phenomena they describe, what matches the technology, what does not. Here is where it gets strange. States are passing laws to protect your brain data right now. California, Colorado, Minnesota. Why? What do they know that we do not? The military says this is for soldiers, voluntary enhancement, control drones with your thoughts, process data faster than humanly possible. But if it works through the skull, who decides when it is voluntary? There is something else. The UK government just offered £2 million for human augmentation research. China and Russia have cognitive warfare programs. They are calling the brain the new battlefield, not metaphorically, literally. Your smartphone tracks your location, your search history, your face. Don't say what I am telling, we already know it. Why wouldn't it track your brain? The sensors already exist. The research is done. And according to academic institutions studying this, we are unprepared for what is coming. What the government admits they built, what they are not telling us, and why thousands believe the testing already started. Let us start with what we can verify, because the official documents, they are more disturbing than the conspiracy theories. The hidden history. In the 1960s, the CIA experimented on animals, remote-controlled dogs, 6 of them. They implanted electrodes, tested behavioral control. The program was real. The documents exist. That was 60 years ago. Now ask yourself, what can they do today? Fast forward to 2020. Battle Memorial Institute advanced to phase 2 of DARPA's N3 program. Battle is not a startup. They are a defense contractor. They work on classified projects for the Department of Defense. Phase 2 means it worked. Phase 1 proved the concept. The N3 program is now listed as a complete. Not cancelled, not abandoned, complete. DARPA achieved their goal, non-surgical brain-machine interfaces for able-bodied service members. The official page is still online. You can read it yourself. But here is what they don't tell you, what happened to the technology after completion. Around the same time, something else emerged, Havana syndrome. Diplomats in Cuba reported neurological symptoms, cognitive issues, brain injuries. The Insider investigated, DARE's PGL investigated, 60 Minutes covered it. Dr. James Giordano, a neuroscientist, went on record. He called it a directed energy event. Same technology, different application, no one is saying, but the timing is interesting. DARPA completes brain reading research. Diplomats start experiencing brain attacks. Could be a coincidence, could be something else. What we know for certain, multiple governments researched this, not just the United States. So let us establish the pattern. 1960s, animal behavioral control verified. 2020, non-surgical brain interfaces verified. Recent years, unexplained neurological attacks documented. And throughout all of this, a growing community reports being targeted by invisible weapons. They have been reporting this for years. Most people dismissed them, called them delusional. But what if they were not wrong? Just early? The machine they built. Let us talk about what they actually built. The N3 program had specific performance targets. Read from 16 independent channels in a 16 cubic millimeter volume of neural tissue through your skulls in 50 milliseconds. That is not theoretical. That is the official specification. The challenge was physics. Signals scatter. They weaken through skin, through the skull, through brain tissue. So they used light, acoustic energy, electromagnetic waves to both read and write to the brain. Write, not just read, write. That means sending signals in, not just recording signals out. The stated purpose was military, controlled unmanned aerial vehicles, active cyber defense systems, multitasking during complex missions, for able-bodied service members, voluntary enhancement. But here is the question nobody answers. If it works on volunteers, does it work on non-volunteers too? The technology does not know the difference. Now, let us address the obvious skepticism. Maybe this is overblown, maybe the technology barely works, maybe it only functions in perfect lab conditions with cooperative subjects. That would make sense, right? Except multiple contractors completed phase 2. The program is marked complete. Not promising, not developing, complete. At the same time this program finished, thousands of people started reporting something on forums like R Physiotronics. They described directed energy weapons, microwave devices causing injury, and something called V2K, voice to skull. The claim voices transmitted directly into their heads without sound. Now this is where it gets complicated. The skeptical explanation: these are psychological symptoms, not technological attacks. Mass delusion, confirmation bias, mental health issues. That explanation makes sense for isolated cases. But here is the problem. The community reports specific technical details, consistent across thousands of accounts. Same symptoms, same descriptions, same timing patterns. One user asked a perfect question: if this technology exists, where are the leaks? Where are the photos, the defectors, the evidence? It is a fair question. We have official documents for N3 public program pages, but for covert deployment on civilians, nothing verifiable. So either the claims are unfounded or the operational security is perfect, which seems more likely. What they are not saying. Here is what the public knows. DARPA built brain reading technology for soldiers to control machines. That is layer 1, the surface, but let me show you what is underneath. The University of Pennsylvania created an entire center for neuroscience ethics, not a committee, a center. Their focus: implanted brain-computer interfaces and new state privacy laws. Why do we need brain data privacy laws? Layer 2, what contradicts the surface? States are racing to pass protections: California, Colorado, Minnesota. The laws specifically mention neural data collected by devices, not future devices, current devices. Fitness tracker, your gaming headset, your phone, they are already reading your brainwaves. This is not speculation. Consumer neurotech exists right now. But here is the strange part. If consumer devices already track brainwaves legally, why the sudden panic for new laws? What changed? Either data is more valuable than we thought, or someone using it in ways we did not expect. Think about it. Your phone knows your location, your searches, your contacts. Now add your emotional state, your stress levels, your cognitive patterns. Layer 3, pattern recognition across time. Remember those CIA dogs from the 1960s? The program was declassified. We know about it. Here is the question: what did not get declassified? Havana syndrome investigation involved 3 major outlets. 60 Minutes, The Insider, Der Spiegel. Dr. James Giordano testified, a neuroscience expert. He did not call it psychological. He called it directed energy. Layer 4, the unsolvable core. China published doctrine on cognitive warfare. So did Russia. They are not calling it propaganda. They are calling it brain warfare. The UK government offered £2 million for human augmentation defense research, not theoretical research, defense research. Defense against what? Here is what authorities won't address. If the technology only works on willing subjects, why are governments funding cognitive warfare defenses? If it requires surgery, why did DARPA specifically demand non-surgical methods? The N3 program specification, no surgery required. Through the skull from a distance, that is not for volunteers wearing lab equipments. That is for something else entirely. 5 things that don't add up. Let me show you 5 things that do not add up. Number 5, the timing problem. DARPA's N3 program completed same time frame as Havana syndrome investigations. Diplomats reported cognitive attacks, brain injuries, neurological damage. Major investigations followed. Expert testimony from neuroscientists. Coincidence or field testing gone public. Number 4, the missing evidence. Here is what should exist but does not. The N3 program is complete, marked, finished on official records. So where are the results? Where is the technology now? Phase 2 contractors delivered. The specifications were met. Then silence, nada. No press releases, no product announcements, no follow-up programs. Military technology does not just disappear, it gets deployed. Number 3, the convenient explanation. It is for soldiers, voluntary enhancement only. But ask yourself this: why did multiple governments immediately fund cognitive warfare defenses? The UK, £2 million for defense against human augmentation. China and Russia published doctrine calling the brain a battlefield. You don't defend against something that does not exist. Number 2, the privacy panic. 3 states passed brain data laws in the last 2 years, not proposed, passed. California protects neural data, Colorado protects neural data, Minnesota protects neural data. Why the sudden urgency? Maybe they are just being cautious, getting ahead of the technology, but lawmakers don't move fast ever unless they know something we don't. Number 1, the biggest contradiction. The technology reads and writes to the brain through the skull. No surgery, no implants, no physical contacts. It only works on willing participants in controlled conditions. But the specification demanded operation through physical barriers at a distance. That is not lab equipment. That is deployment capability. So which is it? Here is what we know for certain. The research exists. The programs completed. The patents are filed. Your phone already tracks brainwaves through consumer devices. Governments are preparing cognitive warfare defenses. Here is what we cannot verify. Whether it is being used covertly on civilians right now. The targeted individuals community says yes. Thousands of reports, official sources say no or say nothing. And here is what haunts me. In 60 years, we went from remote control dogs to reading human brains through the skull in milliseconds. If that is what they admit publicly, what are they not admitting? The technology exists, the motive exists, the funding exists. The only question is deployment. On that question, we have silence. So which one bothers you most? The timing, the missing evidence, the privacy laws, or the fact that the technology works through your skull and there is no way to know if it is being used? Leave a comment, tell me what you think, because the conversation matters. And listen, if you are here right now, I need your help. My family said I would never reach 1,000 subscribers doing this. Conspiracy topics, research heavy content, stories that make people uncomfortable. But I believe these questions deserve answers. I believe you deserve to know what your government admits and what they hide. So prove them wrong with me. Subscribe to the channel. Help me show them stories like this matter. Let us keep asking questions they don't want us to ask. Now go watch the next video because this rabbit hole goes deeper.